should be starting to stream on the old Whatnot YouTube now as well. Let me just quickly pull up a web page that I require. It's all a bit convoluted with streaming to 3 different places. But there we go. Right, okay. So that should be fine. Right, and we should be streaming on YouTube and on DLive. And let me pull in Facebook. Go live with them. And oh blimey, I tell you what. Oh, yeah. It's Friday. It's Dress Down Friday. And yeah, cool, excellent. Right, so I know. What are we going to talk about today? I don't know. We're going to chew the whatnot and have a bit of a chat. If you want to give us a shout, please do. guv.li/rant. And not much to talk about, really, is there? Yeah, okay. All right. We'll talk about the meltdown that is Europe. What's going on? Oh, hold on a sec. Why is Facebook not going live? There we go. Okay, right. So now we should be streaming on our various outputs for Daily Chaos. And coming up in about 8 minutes' time, people. Dress Down Friday. So if you're watching an archive version, you might want to fast forward a little bit to the top of the show. Otherwise, you can enjoy this wonderful copyright-free music. All right. It's Friday! It's nearly beer o'clock! Woo! Alright. Just don't get too excited, for God's sake. You don't need to get too bloody excited. Anybody think we got Brexit? Ha! Oh, that's silly. Brexit? Who wants Brexit? I mean, for crying out loud, wouldn't you rather be part of a totalitarian club? Oh, God. You gotta laugh. Laugh or cry. Tell you that. Good evening, everybody. Do. 6 minutes, folks. Might actually be on time tonight. You never know. Ooh, blimey. Purge the thought. Testing 1 2 1 2 testing. If anybody can hear any echo, let me know, please. Because I've changed a few things today and done all sorts of stuff. Is this echoing? Actually, I'll tell you what, we'll quickly check something else as well. I don't know. Can you see me? We're going out on DLive, we're going out on YouTube, and we're going out on Facebook. I've been playing around with... Oh, no, you can't see me. Can you see me? I don't know. Oh, there you go. You can see my mixer, probably, can't you? Anyway, right. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Show coming up. Okay. Oh, blimey. Discord people, God bless you. Oh, hold on. Oh. Special guest today, Mariano Rajoy. Oh, maybe not. This is serious. Oh, come on. Bloody, stop being a pain in the neck. Oh, for God's sake, what's your problem? This old crap. Oh, get in there, get out of the bloody... I tell you what, sometimes this machine doesn't behave. There you go. Oh yeah, mix it up, babe. Ja. Ja, det var... It has the ways of making you the man! Yeah, feels like it, doesn't it? Who runs who? Come on, come on. There you go. Come on, get on with it. Oh, blimey, I've had enough of that. Crying out loud. Pressing. There you go. There we go, bit of jazz. Oh, yes.
Jazz club.
Whoa! Right. 2 minutes, people. Evening all. Oh, Linda Bosey, Charlotte Jameson, Carl Millinch, Jennifer Murphy, Matty Gold, John Uppity. Hey James, cool. Come on, give us a song, James. Charlotte Jameson. No.
Really fine.
All right.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Quite right. Doodaloo. Oh really? I say.
And it's so packed in here. The band sounds great. Double penny whistle track. How are you?
Oh, very well, thank you. How are you? Yeah. Nice, Matt, nice. Oh yeah, a lot of whipped curie, mate.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Man, did you went to the screening of Pull My Daisy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna pull your daisy, mate. No.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, that movie is great.
Yeah, very nice.
Second time I saw it.
Nice, man. Like where?
Really.
All right, that's enough of that. For God's sake.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Actually, oh blimey, this is another 2.5 minutes long. Oh dear, can't handle that. It's very nice though. Quite like this.
Thank you. Alright, thank you for letting me sneak through.
Yeah.
But Scotland is quite angry in the...
Scotland's angry. Blimey, I'll tell you what.
Here a little bit right now. We're kind of giving covers.
Oh, who's that?
My government
Yeah.
tainted by corruption.
Dude.
The people in it than there is right now, man. Right now, about, I mean, it's 20 feet wide. Tons of people packed in there, man.
Oh, blimey, I'll tell you what. Had enough of that. Had enough of that. Had enough of that. Oh, hold on. Blimey, yeah, you can shut up. Right. Okay, here we go, for God's sake. Oh. Evening, all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On this fine Friday, nearly beer o'clock. And welcome to the Daily Chaos. New fascist-free edition, on DLive. Yes, please. Best viewed fascist-free on DLive. That is guv.li/chaos. And hey, it's good to see you about. I see you quite a few bums on seats. God bless you. The show ain't daily, but the chaos is. And now, Dress Down Friday. No guests on Fridays. No guests ever on Fridays. You are the guest. And they're the Remainers. Remainers with deeper voices. There you go. Oh, look at that. That's Westminster. Do. And a bit of Brussels. Right, okay. And we have in the green room already Mr. James Gore. God bless you. James, can you hear me? James, can you hear me? Oh, have I got you muted? No, I haven't. Right, okay. Well, he's not talking yet. That's fine. No worries. Okay, I understand the feeling. It is very much of a Friday.
I am here, yes.
James, God bless you, mate.
Sorry.
How are you? How are you? Well, how's your Friday
I'm
been?
all right. Have you
What you
looked up uniform commercial court? I sent it the other day.
Hey? You what?
Like when you commented on something,
Mm.
I sent you. Have a look at. We talked about the other day.
What did we talk about the other day? What? God,
UCC.
the UCC, mate. And you sent me the link. I haven't looked, mate. I haven't looked. I haven't had a chance to look.
9 articles of it. It puts a value on a negotiable instrument. Basically, it's like a maxim, but it puts you under common law jurisdiction when present for payment or when you accept of a value, anything
anything
you want to pay for, basically. So it's like so we've got a trade deal with the EU. They keep talking about that. They use UCC for that. If they don't use UCC, you can't pay for it.
Right.
Because everything's.
Blimey,
This is why I keep banging
Go
on
on.
about the birth certificate, you see. Because
Birth
everything's
certificate.
prepaid.
Yeah.
Everything's
yeah.
prepaid through your birth certificate.
Everything's prepaid.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like the birth certificate is like a bond, you're saying, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. It's on your top right. On the bond number, if you type in on fidelity.com, your
Yes.
2 top numbers and your 6 numbers in,
Yes.
I think it's news and research, you type in quotes,
Right.
and you find out how much you're worth on the stock market.
You find out how much you're worth on the stock market. Really?
But anyone, really.
Hold on a sec. Let me do this. Where do I need to go?
Fidelity.com. If you go on Steve's website.
Fidelity.com. I was going to say, you're not taking me anywhere suspect, are you? Right. Fidelity International Usage Agreement. You're visiting Fidelity.com
You
from
click
outside.
accept on that.
Click accept.
I done it with Lynn the other day.
God, this is when I don't know, track trolls or something. Right, what do I do next? I'm in here.
You go to the I think it's news and research.
News and research.
Yeah, then quotes.
Then quotes. Oh, hold on a sec.
Yeah, you get your birth certificate.
Oh, news and research.
First 2 numbers and then the 6 numbers in. And you space it out.
Then research. Where's research? Research. Something else. There's news, watch list, quotes, alerts, mutual funds, stocks, income, ETFs, whatever that is.
It's in quotes in news and research. So I found it.
Look, I'll tell you what. Would you do us a favor and have a look at that during the show, and then maybe we'll come back to it. But do we have to register to do this, or can you get an instant valuation? James?
It's just an instant valuation. You find out how much you've been traded on the stock market. You can collapse it through.
I doubt they'll get much for me, but that would be very, very interesting. It'll be good fun. I'll have a look at that. All right. Okay. Jolly good.
They're making a mint on us on that birth certificate. The older you get, the more you're worth. So.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. Really?
And it's worth like 6 million alone when you're born. I don't know how much it is in euros.
Look, I do understand what you're saying, James. I do understand. It is actually pretty fascinating. And okay, all right. Look, do us a favor and find out that link, and then we'll come back to that because that could be quite good fun. If anybody wants to call in and join us, then you can on guv.li/rant. Be taking your comments as well, of course. Actually, I did think that we might do a little test on this thing called Jitsu today as well. Which is a way that people could call in alternatively to Discord just by typing in a web address, but without having to log into anything, without having to download any application and all the rest of it. And the guys at Axiom have been telling me you should use this, Ollie, because it's way, way easier than Discord. And I don't know. Do you know anything about Jitsi? Jitsu?
Yeah, it's... Ollie, did you wear I'm on my phone, right? There's like a free bar. You click on that. Type news and research, and it's after watch list in between alerts, and it's quotes.
Should we? Let's come back to that. Let's come back to that a bit later. Let's go and have a look through the news first of all, and see what people are talking about.
I've got some news. There was a load of people protesting outside Leeds Court today. Did you see that, Ollie?
No, I didn't. At Leeds.
Yeah,
about what? That
should be your headline for today.
Go on. Well, you give us the headline.
Not one mainstream media report on it again.
No, of course they wouldn't. What was this? Was this about Tommy or what?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
What were they saying?
Thousands of people outside Leeds singing
his
name. Blocking roads as well. And he nearly kicked off. It was mental.
I'm not surprised. I tell you, the people are pretty annoyed. Pretty annoyed that free speech is being incarcerated, and you got all these.
They're trying to swipe it under the carpet, just like they've been. Child rapes have been happening from God knows how many years, not just for Muslims, but like Jimmy Savile. But like, if you mention,
damn right.
If you mentioned like what it is, you get called a racist, and why they go out and rape in Oldham every night. 100 girls get raped every night in Oldham, every night by Muslims.
How can you be sure of that kind of figure?
Because Tommy said it before he got incarcerated. He said it on one of his streams.
That's just in Oldham, you're saying?
Yeah, but around there, they just get drugged and absolutely hounded. There's no mercy. And David said as well, he saw a girl, black and blue.
Why is this not in the news, people? Why? I mean, we know that this is going on. I mean, James's figure kind of, I don't know whether it's slightly exaggerated, but around the country every night, it must be more than that. From what that lady wrote in that report, way more than that, actually. From what that lady wrote in that report off the back of Rotherham, when she said, no, it's not about 14, you're 3 girls, the documentary, the BAFTA-winning documentary about Rotherham. And the lady did the report off the back of it, and she said, the problem is that this isn't just Rotherham. It's not just, say, a dozen cities either. It's around in nearly every town in the UK.
Absolutely.
It is endemic in Pakistani
It's coming to my
society,
hometown.
according to what she said. And this is
It's
of course. Just a sec, James, God bless you. Please don't make me have to mute you, man. Please, because otherwise, we're talking over each other. Look, the thing is, we got to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, clearly there is a problem, and I mean, from what James said, it kind of makes sense. So that and you take that across the entire country. How many girls are getting raped every single day? How many? What, thousands? Thousands. It must be thousands. It must be thousands. It's
too many.
It's just awful.
And it's coming to my hometown as well, because the amount of takeaways we've had built in the past year, we've got 19 takeaways in our town centre, and they're all Muslim. Every single one of them. So the objective is clear, isn't it?
I don't know whether you
Take
can link.
over.
I don't know whether you can link that, James. I don't know whether you can
Once
link
they get
that.
a few bad apples, they'll start grooming them. Because they're all bevied. They all go in the pubs and that. They all get bevied. They buy pizza and whatnot. And it's going to get worse.
Okay, look, I'm going to go through a bit of news because obviously that's a topic that we cover, well, most days because it is so bloody serious. Let's have a quick look and see what the Boys Buggering Club, talking of, child rape and all that, is saying about what's going on in Spain. And then we can look at the relevance of that and also Italy news as well, because these things do affect Brexit. So what are they saying on the... Yeah, bloody.
A huge moment. I mean, he's one of the political survivors, comparatively in EU politics in Europe. He's been there more than many other leaders since 2013, a brief spell out of office, then back in again over the past 6 years. They called him Mr. Wait and See. He always deliberated.
That's like maybe.
Said that he got through and Spain through the worst of the financial crisis. Now,
absolutely,
his fate was in the hands of the parliamentarians. They voted against him. So let's just recap on what's happened. Mariano Rajoy stepped into Congress, and I think it was pretty clear that he knew he was going. He thanked, he said...
Of course it was clear. They knew yesterday, for
God's sake. And he also said to Pedro Sanchez, the new Spanish Prime Minister, 46-year-old socialist leader, he said, congratulations for the job. The big thing here, the heart of this crisis, was a corruption scandal between the 90s and about 2005 and called the Gortel case. It came to a head at the High Court last week.
Another crook in his party.
People's Party.
There are dozens of them. Dozens in PP, yeah?
The High Court judge said the people
Partido Popular
intrinsically linked to creating a system of institutionalised corruption and said that
hold on, just a sec, James. Just a sec, bless you, mate.
A year ago was questionable. So that caused a political earthquake. But here's the brief point to work out. As we see the new Prime Minister take the job in Spain,
Hold on a sec. Let me just read that because that was important. Sorry, hold on. But what happened with this?
2005 and called the Gortel case. It came to a head at the High Court last week. More than a dozen former People's Party members, ex-members, were jailed, including the former Treasurer. The High Court...
the former Treasurer, yeah? The former Treasurer, even. I think he's inside now, isn't he? Barcenas,
Judge
I think.
said the PP party were intrinsically linked to creating a system of institutionalised corruption and said that Mariano Rajoy's testimony a year ago was questionable. So that caused a political earthquake. But here's the brief point to work out. As we see the new Prime Minister take the job in Spain, there were 6 other parties that have supported it. But what conditions are they asking for? These are...
Right, I'll tell you what's going to happen. Catalonia is laughing tonight. I'll tell you, they are the big winners in this. This new government has got a trace majority. So I don't know what, about 3 or 5 seats, something like that, which means that it's a bit of a situation like, Theresa Blood, maybe with the DUP holding her to ransom. I mean, in their case, they got a couple of billion and this and that and what have you. It would be nice if they actually strong-armed her into delivering Brexit, the DUP. I was kind of hoping that they would be a lot more active than they have been. They've been pretty bloody useless, actually. But anyway, so it's a similar situation with Catalonia as it is with the DUP in a way. There's other parties as well, lots of little parties that have got together to create this new technocratic government to replace the old technocratic government, i.e. not given really a true public mandate as such. But under the Constitution, it is democratic. Yes, so anyway, they scrambled together to replace this old corrupt government that got this effectively a vote of no confidence, the Partido Popular, the Popular Party, but are they called populists? Oh, no, that's not the wrong kind of populist. And anyway, basically the Conservatives over there, or more accurately, just another bunch of bloody Bilderberg EU fanboys. And they've been replaced by the PSOE, or more accurately, just another bunch of EU fanboys. So this PSOE, they've had to join forces with, for example, particularly the Catalans. Now, the Catalans, they've had their own rights of what they can do governing their own area rescinded by that old crook. Well, I think his party is crooked as hell. He now is going to be investigated, the old Prime Minister. It's going to be very exciting. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with that. But the bottom line is that his party has been crooked, and he was just, over the last few, forever, they're so arrogant. Just like these tossers in power in the UK or in Brussels, and just generally politicians. We're above all that. We're above all that. Oh, yeah, there's been a bit of corruption maybe, but we'll carry on as usual. Just ignore it. Try and put it under the rug. And yes, finally, first time I think ever in this country, in Spain, there's a vote of no confidence which kicks out this corruption. So it's wonderful for people. It is wonderful for people. It's just a pity that they're going to be replaced by another party, which is probably completely bloody useless too. But on the other hand, the Catalans, it is quite exciting for them. It's very, very exciting for them because they will be able to strong arm. If the government wants them to vote with them, they will say to the government, we'll do that, but we want those rights brought back to us that Rajoy took away from us after he was shooting us with rubber bullets. And the EU stood by, and so did the king, by the way, with his dick in his hand. So anyway, it's very, very good news for the Spanish people. It's good for democracy all in all. And for Catalonia, well, I imagine that they're raising a few glasses tonight, the Independentistas. The ones that want unity in Spain, less so, has to be said. It most importantly, from the point of view of the UK, again, it fractures the EU in two ways. First of all, Spain is weakened through one of the nation states that is so important in Brussels, around the table there, if you like, is weakened because of this, crisis. So that's point one. And point two, with the Catalan crisis now coming back up again, it weakens the EU directly. And so there's two more little cards, not exactly trump cards, but two more little cards for Theresa May to ignore, because that's what she'll do. She will not care. She's got all these trump cards and she'll do nothing because she's a traitor. She doesn't give a stuff. She's a Bilderberger and we need her out. We will never get Brexit with that woman, with that turncoat. We've got so many trump cards. We've got Germany with, near as damn it, a technocratic government. Well, at least a coalition. We've got Italy in crisis. We've got Spain in crisis. We've got France with everybody, on the streets protesting against some bloody Merkin's Macroni. We've got all these upheaval all the way. Austria, the Netherlands. Has the Netherlands actually got a government at the moment? All of these countries are in abject crisis, and Theresa May should be cashing in. She should be cashing in. Her hand is so strong here. So strong. And the country's being run by a fucking womble. Anyway, I just thought I'd get that off my chest. And we now have Carl Stephen with us. Carl, good evening, sir. How are you? Okay, right. So anyway, Mariano Rajoy is forced from office. And we'll keep tabs on what's going on with that. Okay. Meanwhile, EU deletes footage of young Claude Winter insulting Italians and denying he said it, according to Guido Fawkes, who went down, in my estimation, very much in the way that they covered Tommy last week, I got to tell you. Extraordinarily. It might as well have been written by the Home Secretary, that piece that they put out last week. Maybe it was. Not very good, Guido. The European Commission attempted to delete footage of Jean-Claude Juncker insulting Italians from its video service. And his spokesman has tried to deny he called the country work-shy and corrupt. Speaking of Q&A yesterday, Wanker said Italians must take care of the poor regions of Italy, which means more work, less corruption, seriousness. We will help them as we have always. He's always drunk. Seriousness. We will help them as we always have done, but do not face the game of discharging responsibility with the EU. A country is a country. A nation is a nation. Countries first, Europe second. Oh, he's just an arse. He's just such a lying little shit. Excuse my French. I do apologize. But, I mean, do you want the honest truth or do you want, the news? Yeah? Are you there, Carl? Can you hear us, sir?
He's gone.
He's gone? That's bloody useful, isn't it?
Yeah, I was saying before when you muted me, the Home Secretary looks like a bit like a Malteser. Do you even know what that is?
What do you mean?
He's got a head like a Malteser.
He's got a very round head, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's just
Javid. Very round head.
Just like go up to bite his head.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yes, indeed. I apologize, Frank McKell, for on a time to switch off. Sounds like you're shouting, very annoying. I do apologize. You know what? Getting very annoyed with what's going on. So more on Italy. Guru of helicopter money takes Italy's treasury as insurgents gain their way. Now, actually, this is a big story. This is a much bigger story than what's going on in Spain, actually. Italy's new finance minister is an advocate of full-blown fiscal reflation and printed money to rescue Europe's high-debt states, putting him on an inevitable collision course with Brussels and Germany's policy elites. Another trump card, Theresa May, for you to just dismiss after weeks of brinkmanship, the radical.
I think the movement and
go on, James. What's it gone? Well, just one sec. After weeks of brinkmanship, the radical five-star movement and the anti-Liga nationalists have largely succeeded in forcing their own Eurosceptic choice on the Italian political establishment. Professor Giovanni Tria is soft-spoken but tenacious critic of the Eurozone's fiscal compact and the EMU apparatus of debt deflation austerity. So, James, it sounds as though, and Carl Stephen, who's just popping back in, it does sound as though we've got this coalition government between Five Star and La Liga in Italy back on. Mm-hmm. Thank goodness now the EU is so on the ropes.
Well, that's the way that's the way it is. Like, people are waking up to it, and like, because it was set up as a trade deal back in just after the World War, around about 1945, and then people were like, "Oh yeah, better together." And now, as soon as like the years have gone by, people have just woken up to what it actually really is. It's a spin off to control the masses, to formulate the new world order, as Nigel Farage said.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yes. Carl, good evening. What would you like to say, sir?
Is
He's
he
gone
here?
again. He's gone again. He keeps popping in and out. He's obviously having a problem with his thing. I've got, like, John Alfred Thomas Begent says, sort the sync out. Well, actually, John, you could help me to do that, and I'll tell you how. Because I am using, I put out a video earlier today basically showing how I produce this show for other activists out there, some of which pop on the show here, and we're between us trying to, we ideally, ultimately want to put together a network, a sort of a 24/7 alternative to BBC lies. Something to contest the status quo of news, which actually is views, not news, but views. And there's nothing wrong with views. There's nothing wrong with views, except when they masquerade as news. That is propaganda. That's a lie. That's a deceit.
Here's a question. When
James.
did BBC ever told the truth? That's a good question. Not very often.
Even a clock is right twice a day.
Yeah.
Even a stop clock is right twice a day. But I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's it. It's either it's lies, it's deceit, it's spin, etc., etc. We know that. You know, for example, okay, look, I'll tell you what. Let's have a look at this. This is old Dimble bottom boys bum whatever. And
The way that we are
on
being
Question Time last
ignored.
night. Have a laugh.
Scotland
Have a bit
is
of a
quite
laugh.
angry in the way that we are being ignored in the Brexit negotiations. Our government that we voted for is being ignored and
Yeah, we voted for Brexit as the UK, darling. Anyway, sorry. Okay, that's not really relevant to what I was saying. Look, the thing is, John. The reason that the picture is stuttering is because you're watching this on Fascist-bot. And Fascist-bot is not the primary destination of this show. The place to go and watch this show is a place which is free of fascism. And that is DLive. And it's a very, very simple link. If you go to it's on there. It's there on the screen. The top of the screen, right there. Go there. guv.li /chaos, and there should be no problem at all. But today, for the first time, I'm going out to 3 different places, pushing the bandwidth on my internet connection to go out to 3 different places with not just a static picture, i.e. radio, but with video, so that you can see the kind of the news live and all the rest of it. All that scrolling and stuff. But if you're getting, for example, latency, and maybe I'm out of sync and stuff like that, it is basically because you're at the wrong place. You need to go to guv.li /chaos. Even better, I need a piece of software to be able to do this more professionally, called Wirecast. And I will physically show you this now. Now, yesterday, somebody very, very kindly donated £200 specifically to help me buy this piece of software, which actually costs about 950 quid, something like that, I think. So let me see if I can find it for you to show you. There we go. Wirecast. Okay, this is it. From telestream.net. Live video streaming production allows you to go out simultaneously to as many different networks to get the message out to as many different networks as you want, dependent on your upload speed with your internet connection. That is it. Now, it says buy starting at $695. I think the version I need is about there we go, $995 for Wirecast Pro for that thing. That is exactly the piece of kit that this show needs to do it right. So I'm over 2/5 of the way there, just off the back of an anonymous donor yesterday. God bless him. Thank you very, very much indeed, sir. You know who you are. And I really, really, really do need to this lovely looking chap behind the microphone there. I need to look as happy as that. So please, bung us a few quid. And the way you can do that, and it does get plowed back into the show. Believe you me, I am running at a real loss putting together this show. And so, if you do want some truth and a place where you can come on and you can speak your mind and hear great guests from the alternative political parties. We had Sir William Jaffrey here yesterday, for example, who was telling us about Caroline Stevens' new project, Democracy 17.4, which is a rather an important project, it seems to me, looking to replace the crooks and cronies in Westminster who are parachuted in by central office as opposed to being chosen by their constituents, and that then have to kowtow to the party whip. Instead of that, for example, Democracy 17.4, they want to put in independent MPs, independent, and get this, that listen not to that party whip, but to the constituents. So anyway, if you want to hear about things like that, you're not going to hear it on the BBC. They want the status quo. That is their job, to maintain the status quo. And you shouldn't be paying for that propaganda either, by the way. Don't pay the BBC. Send me some money instead, a few quid, just a beer or whatever if you can. PayPal.me/Brexit. PayPal.me/Brexit. And I would be very, very grateful indeed. If I can get this, and indeed this piece of kit, then you will have no more stuttering, John. There we go. And Joe Blogg says it's in sync and free of censorship. Well, it may or may not be in sync at the moment. But look, it is very, very important, people, that we there's two things here. First of all, yes, we do need to be getting the message out as much as possible. But also, you folks, if you love democracy, you shouldn't be watching this on a fascist social network. And that is exactly what Facebook is. It's a company that colludes with government against your interests. And it's exactly the same with YouTube. DLive, on the other hand, DLive, where I'm streaming to, isn't like that. DLive is an a completely independent place. It's run on the blockchain, and it allows two different things. First of all, it means that I do not have to support fascism, and that means a lot to me, and it should mean a lot to you. And it also means that hopefully, ultimately, very soon, I'm not going to have to be begging for money to be putting out truth. I'm fed up of begging, yeah? I'm fed up of begging. DLive on there is on this blockchain. This is all quite confusing. To be honest with you, I don't understand it. But I'll try and get the founder, Kent, who has upvoted this show, bless him, on DLive. Compare that to Facebook, where you share the details of this show and you get a ban. I've had how many people? I don't know how many people. I cannot remember how many people have said, at least half a dozen have told me that they've been group banned or jailed or 30-day ban or 7-day ban, something like that, when they share the details of Daily Chaos or what was Daily Brexit before. It's incredible. That is fascism. The way that they are corralling us into an echo chamber on Facebook, it is completely in cahoots with this Bilderberg, this kind of globalist agenda, the Soroses of this world. That's the state. As opposed to DLive, where they don't do any of that. And not only that, but they can't censor this content because when it goes on the blockchain, it's there. It can never be erased. Not by me, not by anybody else. So I better be careful not to...
I keep getting banned as well, Olly.
Go on, James.
I'm on a 30-day... I'm on a 30-day ban on one of my accounts.
What are you on a ban for?
telling Muslims to go shove it up their asses.
Okay, all right. Whoa. All right, okay.
Sorry for swearing.
Aye. Joe Bloggs says, stop paying the TV license a long time ago. Joe Bloggs also says, kind of destroys the argument that the UK pays the license because the BBC don't advertise. I mean, the TV license is just an absolute scam. You're paying for propaganda.
Stop paying for water bills and council tax. Anything. Just stop paying it. There's a legal way and there's a lawful way of doing it.
It has to be said, though, James, that so far as your council tax is concerned, at least I know a lot of that money. We had Colin Worrell come on here, for example, who ran as an independent candidate in Leeds, Hull quite recently. He's a guy that tried to carry out a citizen's arrest on his own MP. And his MP told him to F off. But nonetheless, he tried, did him. God bless him. God loves a trier. Colin Worrell, been on the show 2 or 3 times, lovely bloke. And he made a stand. And he actually more recently was telling us about the corruption at Hull City Council to the tune of about 200 million that has gone missing. And when he called the treasurer, the lawyer, I think some senior bod on the council that deals with the legal side, he was talking to, and apparently the guy said to him, "Oh, but we kind of see it as our right to be able to take a bit of money off the side." It's just incredible, unbelievable. Look, you're not going to get this kind of information on the BBC. If you want this kind of stuff, then please support this.
It's mass frauds from all the councils
and stop paying your license.
Getting paid 4 times through your trust. This is where the birth certificate comes into it, because they're getting paid through your property. And that Simon Dawson talks about this really good.
Yeah. Simon Dawson came on last night to have a chat with Sir William, but we had a really bad phone line or something. Oh, was that the night before? It might have been the night before. Yeah, Stephen Lang was on last night from the Dragons. Right, Helen Lasky-Smith, I've stopped paying my TV license a few months ago and told them that nothing has happened yet. Ollie, I haven't got PayPal, so how can I help out? Oh, bless you, Helen. Yeah.
It's easy to make an account.
Is it?
Basically, you can just
Do you need a PayPal account? Do you need a PayPal account to use PayPal? Or can you not use another form of... Anyway, I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't like begging, man. I don't like begging. Look, Lauren Page, or get a CLC card and you can sell them. No TV license. Council tax, own name, and a lot more. Commonlawcourt.com, says Lauren Page. Over on YouTube, we've got the British Hive Mind. That'll be our Dave Wolf, bless him. Not just Leeds, New York, Toronto, and Perth, all over the world. Now this is about Tommy. Yeah, this is protests all over the world. Now I wanted to have a conversation tonight with a few folks that aren't calling in. You normally do. What's going? Yeah, cat's got your tongue or something. I want to know what's going on with this petition. I understand nothing. 550,000 signatures on a petition for Tommy Robinson, and I've seen it banded about Facebook that the government has basically declined the petition. But what do you think of that, James? It wasn't actually a British petition, was it?
You know what I mean? They're not gonna if it doesn't fit their agenda, and the banks tell them no, they're just gonna carry on the way the company of the United Kingdom wants them to carry on. That's all they are. The Parliament is just a company. So people will probably end up taking to the streets because it's happening now. It happened last week. That was just a small fraction of it.
Yeah.
The only way it would probably ever get this country back is people, if they went to Windsor Castle, right, and informed the Queen, people are getting thrown in prison for nothing, right? Because Tommy had no due process. He was just like, see you, we don't like you telling the truth, so we're gonna throw you in the neck because we're bought and paid for by the banks, and we could do what we want because we'll get a fat pension out of it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
It's fraud on a mass scale.
It is. It's incredible. It's absolutely amazing. And look, this petition that was rejected, I'm not sure it's the one that did have 550,000 signatories to it. But this one is release Tommy Robinson from prison for broadcasting / reporting truthful news, which is absolutely true, no? Help required for Tommy Robinson being wrongly convicted in court for reporting the truthful factual news was and is not a breach of the peace, but a live report, news broadcast.
It was on public grounds. It was
racial hatred.
Or you could see on his videos, he was in the opposite road, and some geezer said, "I'll F your bloody mum's fairy in," and he spat at him. And he got done for breach of the peace.
That's right. That chap actually said, "I will something your mother's something." I understand. Yeah. He was extremely rude. Tommy was very careful with the way he dealt with this as well. He used the law correctly, so far as journalism is concerned, allegedly and all that. And he wasn't even on the premises, was he? And also the judge is looking through his window, is witnessing the thing that he himself judges. What's going on with that?
He was just dragged in from the street. He was probably at a Costco having a cup of coffee. You've got a case sale, bang, 12 months. That's what he was probably doing. It's fraud. There was no jury there. There should be a jury there because that's part of the law of the land, you see.
Unbelievable.
Part of the 1250 Magna Carta.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Good on you, man.
That's clause 39, and it goes against the Bill of Rights as well.
Okay, look, I'm gonna change tack slightly. The EU is about to destroy the internet. This is a story that came across my desk earlier, and it was rather worrying. According to this guy, this Irish chap, this blogger, who I will try and get on the show here, the EU is looking to further silence us. On 25th of May, the European Council agreed to a negotiating position on the draft copyright directive. This will allow the presidency of the Council to start negotiations with the European Parliament on mass monitoring and filtering of internet uploads like this, and a chaotic new ancillary copyright measure that will make it harder to link to and to quote news sources. So, for example, all of these tabs I got here, all of our news tabs where I'm basically showing you their spin and their lies and their, the way that they are just not honest. I wouldn't be allowed to do it. I wouldn't be allowed to tell you that, guess what? That is not the top story of the day. That is a distraction. I wouldn't be able to tell you all of that. Look at it. Look at it. It needs exposing. Yeah. Independent is talking about the World Trade War, World Trade War looms. Actually, that is a good story. It is a big story, yes. But it ain't nothing like as important as Italy. And how, for us in Europe, particularly with Brexit, when we want Brexit, or even if you don't, it's an enormous story so far as Brexit is concerned. Brexit / Brino. How much reporting has there been on that? How much reporting? When the election happened, when they actually managed to cobble together this coalition, how much reporting did you see on the BBC about that? I can tell you because I watched Newsnight every night that week and they didn't mention it at all. That's on Newsnight. The BBC's flagship news program. It's just incredible.
It's owned by a bunch of Zionists. That's all it is. They just want to put the elephant in your front room, tell you what they want you to know to drive the agenda.
They do, exactly. And now, what this gentleman is telling us on YouTube, thank goodness, is that they are looking to stop programs such as this being able to comment on these lies, on this deceit that is affecting our lives. And yes, I will shout!
Yay!
Despite a large number of demands from a wide range of different stakeholders, including EDRI and Copyright for Creativity, to keep working on the text in order to create some semblance of balance, the council decided to finalise its position with a flawed text. This position, as well as the mandate to the council to negotiate, was voted against by Germany, Finland, and he's crossing some things out there. Look, they're trying to cobble free speech. It's what they've done with Tommy, and it's what they're trying to do with all of us. With that bloody fascist bot, they are corralling us into echo. Hold on, James.
People don't do something about
Hold
Tommy,
on, please. Let me finish my point. They are corralling us into echo chambers. How many of the people that you post out to your things that you believe, things that you should be allowed to talk about, that you want to debate, how much of that stuff is going to people that actually disagree with you, that are on your friends list? It isn't. We're being corralled into echo chambers. And that is why people bugger Facebook, bugger YouTube. Watch this. If you care about democracy on DLive, please, guv.li/chaos. Do not support this fascism. And that is what it is. It's corporate government collusion that does not take into account the rights of the common man. Come on, for crying out loud. It's about time we put up. It's about time we were more proactive in the way that we are active. Instead of just, oh, it's okay, I'll just carry on using fear. No, we've got to make a stand as much as we possibly can. And this, I can tell you, if that comes into effect, I will be ignoring it. I will ignore it. I don't know that I even recognize the EU anymore after what I know. I'm not sure that I even recognize it as anything other than a scam. And I certainly will not be recognizing this because as somebody whose journalism dates back 30 years, and I had a big gap in my journalism. I came back into it when Brexit clearly wasn't going to happen. And I thought, people need to speak up. But this, hold on, James, 1 second, please, sir. This goes against something called fair dealing, which is something that is understood internationally in journalism, which is where if a story happens, you, as a journalist, and I don't care whether you work for the BBC or whether you're a blogger, if you are reporting on what's going on, that is journalism. Whether or not you're any good is another matter. Whether or not you're being honest is another matter. Well, I mean, if you're not being honest, then you're not a journalist. Under journalism, the code of conduct throughout the world has an understanding called fair dealing, which is where you can take this news, this news, whatever it is, anything, video, etc. Oh, Jesus Christ, Paul bloody dark, that ain't news. And you can talk about it, and you can chew over it, and you can explain it, and you can machinate, yeah, not masturbate. Oh, I tell you, You can, and that is very, very important because that's the way news gets reported. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry about this terminally ill nurse. God bless her. I'm sorry on the Daily Express, but the fact is that affects one family or so. That's not a top story. It needs to be exposed. That's not news. As awful as it is. The news is what affects you, everybody, the biggest people in the locality. That's what news is. And guess what? It's all about Brexit at the moment. And they just don't want to know. Look, please, don't support this. Don't support this. I was going to cut this show off at 1:45 on Facebook and on YouTube, basically to try and force people across to DLive. And I did last night, didn't I? I cut the show off on those two. So it was on DLive only at from 1:30 from the bottom of the hour. But I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it today. I don't want to do it. I appreciate, I do understand that, there are people that still want to use, I don't know. I want people to be able to share this as much as possible. I'm not charging for this content. And I also appreciate that there are one or two little hiccups with DLive. Well, the main thing, I'll tell you, I'll be frank with you, is that you need to register. You need to register before you can comment. And unfortunately, because it's this blockchain technology, it does take a little while for your registration to come through. It's not immediate. But please register on DLive because, and in the meantime, I'll try and accommodate Facebook and YouTube as much as I can during this sort of transitional period. But we got to get on DLive, people. We got to get on DLive.
I'll download that after.
Hey, James?
I said I'll download that after, and also we're being conditioned.
Yeah, we are.
By
we're
them, so we're being
played
conditioned by
like an orchestra
as well, and all the other bloody secret societies. Because that's what the EU is. It's just a masquerade as a trade thing, but really it's a secret society.
Yep.
It gets shown in the public domain.
Yep.
Every now and again.
Run by Bilderbergers. Policy behind closed doors, which you are not privy to. The likes of David Moron seeing Henry Kissinger and never releasing the minutes of what they discuss.
Is he still alive, Henry Kissinger?
I'm afraid he is. Yeah.
What's he in?
We've got Carl Stephen here as well. Carl, what would you like to say, sir?
Hi, Ollie. I'm not sure if you can hear me loud and clear. I'm going through my phone because my computer decided to play up. Can you hear me?
You sound good, mate. In fact, you sound great.
Brilliant.
That's a lovely line.
So that's even better then.
And James tonight sounds good. Go on.
What you just covering before about what they're doing with the news and who can report it.
Yes.
I actually read the article, what you posted, and the way I see it, they're trying to copyright the news. So if you are going to stream the BBC, you've got to ask permission first to be allowed to stream it. So
I will ignore that. Boys Buggering Club, do not expect compliance from me. You can bugger off. You can take me to court. I'll stand in the dock and I'll rip you to shreds. Because you don't do news. Where's your news coverage about 9/11? About what really happened with Building 7? You lying bastards. Go on, Carl.
What I find incredible as well is how fast they're getting it through policy, because no one's heard of it, and it's about 4 weeks away, isn't it? So within the next 8 weeks, they're actually looking at putting it through as policy. So there's hardly any time for anyone to protest about it or kick a fuss up about it. Never mind understand what it's trying to say, because it's very confusing, isn't it?
Yes.
Anyway, happy Friday.
I'll tell you what, it is just more and more Orwellian, isn't it? It really is more and more Orwellian. But actually, you know what? It's just that it's more transparent. And the genie is out of the bottle. We know now. We know that, pedos run the world. You don't believe me?
Anyone with any sense, any sense, any sense, any sense,
Oh,
any
they
sense, any sense, any
Oh,
sense, any sense, any sense,
bugger.
any sense, any sense, any sense.
Hold on. Here you go. This is Ted Heath's chief whip. This is how they got us into the EC.
Anyone with any sense who was in trouble would come to the whips and tell them the truth. They'd say, no, I'm in a jam. Can you help? It might be debt. It might be scandal involving small boys, or any kind of scandal which
child rape
member seemed likely to be mixed up in.
Oh, shout if I want to, I'll tell you.
And if we could, we did. And we would do everything we can, because we would store up brownie points. That sounds a pretty nasty reason, but it's one of the reasons. Is if we can get a chap out of trouble, then he'll do as we ask forevermore.
He'll vote with the government. He'll vote with the government, or he'll go back to his constituents and he'll sell what the government is selling. Their snake oil, the EEC. That was going on all over Europe. That is how this corrupt fascist institution, this political project, the EU, that now wants to federalize, that wants to swallow up our military so we are defenseless. That is how it came to pass. Through these sick, depraved pedos, Satanists, and God knows what. I hate to say it. Alex Jones was right all along about that. It's the one thing I couldn't believe. We all go through this kind of learning curve of discovery. And at first I thought, okay, well, they want war, because it's like Ike said, Eisenhower, beware the military-industrial complex and all that. It's all, you know all about that. That's all in common record. Well, you don't, because the BBC don't talk about it. But if you read a book or two, you'll find out about it. And we heard Jean-Claude Juncker, Trichet, first president of the ECB, told us that the EU was just one cornerstone towards global government. Now that could be lovely if you've got, if they're all benevolent, good people. You want to take that risk? Unelected technocrats at the top telling the MEPs what to rubber stamp when your MEP will not field your question in that parliament. It's just tyranny. It's tyranny, yeah, and it needs exposing. And we know how it was put together, and we have proof from these people. We have the FCO 301048 telling us how they knew we would be giving away our sovereignty. We know all this. It's not reported on by these bastards. And now they want to stop us saying that, basically. Well, I can tell you, EU, you can stuff yourselves and your law up your arse. I will not be going along with that. And anybody that does, well, Jesus, I'll tell you what, it's unbelievable. I'm sorry. I do get a bit upset. Lauren Page is mentioning medicinal marijuana. Maybe that would be a good idea. Yeah. You know what? It's that time of day.
And then there was me and...
Go on, Jade.
All right. Is that the...
Oh, too late. Yeah, a little bit annoyed.
I didn't mean to annoy you at there, Olly.
No, not you, mate. You don't annoy me. Man, you're a geezer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wanted to say something. There's a march tomorrow in Manchester with the DLFA.
Oh, hold on. Okay, that. When is this?
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock in Manchester. With
also,
the Football Lads. The Football Lads Alliance.
Yep.
Okay.
DFLA. The same anyway.
Oh, okay. What does that
We'll
stand
call
for? What does that stand for? GFA.
Yeah, basically against terrorism. It's like there'll be loads of people there.
Manchester tomorrow.
Dragons.
What time, James?
1 o'clock tomorrow.
I want to say a big cheers to everybody that didn't call in tonight. You know what? I don't know what it is with you guys. Everybody, normally we get a dozen people on there. I suppose everyone's down the pub already. I'll be joining. This has been Daily Chaos. I remain Olly Connelly, and I'll see you on Monday at 7 o'clock. Here's to us and bugger plutocracy!
F the BBC!
And F the boys buggering Brussels Broadcasting Corporation! And you know what? I might shout here and there. When we got Brexit through, I'll stop shouting. I think somebody needs to shout, don't you? Hey?
Doesn't the Vatican owns the EU, doesn't it?
Oh, I don't
Vatican
know.
Britain.
I don't know. I mean, Jesus, bloody, that Pope's useless, isn't he? Oh, pedos again.
Yeah.
Him and his red bloody shoes and his dress.
And his bloody Gnostic signs.
And his what?
Gnostic signs, like you've got the birth of Tammuz.
Oh, no, we'll do a show on that. Yeah. Look, have a lovely weekend, everybody. Have a great weekend, yeah? And keep your chipper up. Let's have a laugh, for crying out loud. You know, it's laugh, yeah? Don't cry. Choose laughter. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And, God bless you. Oh, blimey. Yeah. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Oh.